Okay, still opening Unity. All right, let me go back to the hub. So in Unity Hub, I just started a new project, regular 3D. I named it like 220 City or something. As always, it's going into my Documents Unity folder. And then I had to select an organization, of which apparently I've got a few. You may only have just one, in order to finally get the Create Project button to turn blue. Once I was done with that, we started waiting. So that's why we're doing just built in. Anyway, so while that's opening, let's preview what we're working on this week. Kind of crazy. We are on week 14. We've got one more week, and then we got finals. So if you don't have Unity Hub or you haven't had it in a while, here's some beautifully outdated instructions on where to download it. You'll figure it out. The links are there. So we're going to work on two different things this week. One will be an extension of the other. So we're going to make a Unity scene. And then Thursday, I will just show you how to take all of your crates and barrels out of the scene, export that as a Unity package, and they'll be using those next semester. So here's our main assignment. We're just going to be bringing in all the things we've already made, and especially all the things we've already exported. So we're going to bring in to a Unity scene all 12 of our crates and barrels models, or whatever. Like if you went extra credit crazy, bring in more. We're going to bring in our spaceship. We're going to bring in our Bible-themed assets. Yes, this is already this scene's going to be really weird, with first century stuff and spaceships in it. It's okay. We're going for weird. We'll bring in whatever our building and our concrete block that our city was sitting on for Chaos City. We'll bring in the prop that we made, which was everything from park benches to dumpsters to school buses to whatever that was. And then we'll bring in Spidey Cube, just as a reminder of scale. And then, maybe he's our friend, maybe he's our enemy, maybe we can knock him down. And then anything else you've made this semester, bring it in if you want to, for funsies. I've got this YouTube of last year when we did this. And of course, we're recording right now. And I've got some steps here for what we're going to be doing. Then we're also going to bring in this. Let me just download this really quick. There's the download button. Super low contrast. That's difficult. So this is a really, really low-level derpy first-person controller pre-built for you. So this week in Unity, there shouldn't be any code or anything. It's just we're just building scenes with stuff we've already made. It's open. All right. Okay, let me come back here. Well, I'll wait on that. We'll have that open. So first thing we need to do is we've got our assets folder here. Really quick, who's in game scripting right now? Most? Some? Who's taken it before, previously? Or some kind of, you've done something in Unity? Yeah? Who's never used Unity? Okay, all right, then this should be all right. Just making sure. I want to know where I needed to sit. So in my assets folder, there's already a scenes folder, so you've already got points. We're going to go ahead and make some more folders here, and this is in the criteria for the week. So I'm going to make a models folder, create a new textures folder. We're not going to be picky. We're going to put textures and materials in there. And then we're going to create a prefabs folder. One thing to note, I have seen a lot where people will build a giant Unity scene and they're pulling in assets from the asset store, things their friends have made, whatever. And so they want to know where their folders are at. And so a common practice that I see a lot is when this is my models folder, go back, hello. Then people might just go ahead and put an underscore in front of that. So if you see that, that's just someone floating their stuff to the top of the list because Unity keeps things alphabetized. So convenient if you want it. Don't be surprised to see that all over the place. I'm not even sure if we're going to see that in the stuff I'm bringing in later. So we've got models, we've got prefabs, we've got textures. I'm going to go to my models folder and I'm going to start dragging in models. So I was thinking about doing this somewhat randomly, or we can look for volunteers. Who wants me to use their crates and barrels? Why not? Or so I'm looking for crates and barrels and city blocks and spaceships, all kinds of stuff.
I want my spaceship. I have a 6 spaceship.
You want to see your spaceship? We'll use your spaceship then.
And I have to show you the comparison of what ones were last year's.
A good side by side. Shoot, I don't see it in my list. Okay. We'll fake our way through this. We'll find it in a minute. Here, we'll do this. I grabbed a spaceship. Okay, so in my models folder, I'll drag in spaceships. Camille, did you have actual textures on here? Was it colors? No actual textures, just colors. Okay. You did or didn't? Okay. All right. So once we get our model in here, our FBX has this weird looking, I don't know, box looking icon. So click on that guy, and then in the inspector, we get four new tabs because that's what Unity needs is new tabs. We got stuff for the model, a rig if you have a character with like skeleton, animations if you have animations baked in. What we care about most right now are materials. So we're going to do this probably, I don't know, 20 times this morning. Here's the first time. So I'm going to come in here right now. On her spaceship, she has glass, gold, jewels, lots of jewels. It says matte pink. I half expected to say metal pink, but and then rose. But so these are the names of our materials, and it doesn't know anything about it yet. So up here at the top, I'm going to hit this extract materials, and I'm going to drop all the materials and the textures into the textures folder. So I'm just going to choose that, say select folder, and now it's extracting more data from the FBX. So if I look in my textures folder here, I've got these cool round material looking guys. So those are our materials. They're here. Let me go back and we'll come back to her model. The textures didn't make it in. Yeah. So if you have bitmap textures on there, they didn't make it into the FBX for whatever reason. So that's one. Let me go just grab some stuff. You put all yours out as different. Yeah, we see the Yoshi stuff. We're all excited about it. You get different buildings here? Madge?
Oh.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that might be more fun that way.
There was like 3 different ones.
All right, so I'm just going to start dragging in more stuff. So here we go. We'll just drag in a building. This looks a little bit more like, did you have textures on it?
Possibly.
Possibly. You guys are just killing me with this. All right. Same thing. So I've already got this tab open for the inspector. I'm on materials. I see both of them lit up. Maybe we have a better chance here. So we got extract materials. Again, I'm going to drop those into the materials or textures folder. And so now it knows that material name. And so I'll hit extract textures. Again, I'm going to navigate to the textures folder, drop it there. And your dude's still showing up gray.
Try a different building, maybe.
Every live demo ever. Don't know why those aren't coming in. Couldn't be me using Blender hotkeys in Unity. At least got the colors there. All right, I'll give you one more shot. We're moving on to somebody else. Super Lab or Tall Tower?
Try Super Lab.
All right. Coming in gray. Which is what the FBX viewer says, and then we'll see what Unity can figure out. All right. That's got stuff on it. Telltale sign of some bad concave geometry there. We'll go with it. All right, we'll try this again. So let me try extract materials. Into the textures folder. Extract textures into the textures folder.
I think that only happened because I tried to triangulate it.
All right, I'm using an experiment. Tall tower, hotel, which one?
Hotel.
Hotel. Okay, I'm gonna try this in a different order, just because I'm curious. Oh, it looks like your hotel's inside out. That's fantastic.
Oh.
FBX importer doesn't care, looks good, according to that. Here it looks inside out. I know, we expected more. I'm gonna try to extract textures first.
It is inside out.
Okay, and it did find the texture. It says, and so this will happen every time you got a normal map. It'll say, hey, this looks like it should be a normal map. Can we tag it as a normal map? You say, yeah, fix it. And so then Unity basically treats it differently. It's like, oh yeah, that's a normal map. So now let me pop up here. Okay. Again with the Blender hotkeys. All right, so there's our inside out hotel. Yeah.
Fix the orientation for it.
All right. So it looks like currently the texture extraction has been evolving in Unity. Currently, it looks like they want you to extract textures first and then materials. We'll try that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete the Super Lab and re-import it. And we'll just do this in a different order. And it already knows. So just that simple order of operations confuses. I'm just going to say fix now. And just import, didn't have to re-import textures and materials, but it looks like on your stuff, if you extract materials first, the material's sitting there going, cool, we're a material, but I don't know where the textures are at. So if you extract the textures first, apparently the material extraction is able to find those. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. Maybe, just maybe, there's a reason that textures goes before materials in that list. Maybe they want us to do something in order. What was the last one? Tall tower? Or medium? No, it was medium building that I drug in first. Whatever it was.
Just tall tower and small house.
Oh, okay. Try this again. Extract textures into the textures folder. Yep. Always just click fix now, and then we'll extract materials. Sometimes it just hates us. Okay. All right, so those are those. We get some more stuff in here. So first off, we need something to put all our stuff on. If you've taken game, whatever it is, what's the class you have on Monday? Game scripts, yes. Wow, words this morning. So you've taken the game scripting. You probably already have messed with terrains. So terrains are a great place to start. So I'm going to right click and create a 3D terrain. That's fine. And then we can make mountains and hills and add texture to it and do all the fun stuff. Alternatively, you could just use a plane or a cube and use that as your ground and just make it flipping huge. So we'll do like 500 by 500 or 1,000 by 1,000. I would probably use a cube over a plane just for that extra bit of collision. Planes have collisions, but it's easier to clip through those really quickly. So whatever you want to do for your ground, it can be planes, cubes, terrains. I'm going to go ahead and do a terrain. Actually, I probably already still have one. Yeah. Since I created the new terrain, but then I deleted it from my scene, it still exists here. I'm just going to drag it back. Let me run through this really quick. So this is 1,000. How big that is? Yeah, it's 1,000 by 1,000. And then for whatever reason, I don't know why, it starts at 0, 0 with a corner there. So I like to move that over. So I put it at a -500 and a -500 on the Z. And now my terrain is centered in my world. Did anyone do cool grass textures on either stuff? Cities? People? You have a road? I didn't get FBXs for yours. I know, man. It's just, you expect, and you don't. All right, I'm just going to keep going. I already got her stuff. There we go. All right, go back to my models folder. Just keep dragging in stuff. So I've got, I lost it. There we go. There's a floor mart, whatever floor mart is. Extract materials. It's a whole lot of that. Just a whole lot of extracting materials. Sideways temples. There we go. Mason's got stuff. We'll see what it looks like. We'll extract textures and then extract materials and see if we get anything cool. Yep, fix that. Could it be a coffee shop? Could be. Mason didn't give me any grass to work with. All right, then I'll just do it. All right, I'm gonna go to my textures folder here. Does anybody give me green yet? No. What's yellow? No, I want to do that. So I'm gonna make a new material. I don't need a material. I need PNGs.
I have a flat green plane.
You do? I need textures. All right, so I'm going to cheat this, and I'm going to show you something cool. You probably already know. I'm going to go to Windows, Package Manager, and I'm just going to see if I can find some grass material from my terrain before I move on. So I'm going to go to My Assets. And only have 533 Unity assets. Let me filter. Nature, Viking Village, soft grass shader, easy grass substance. Just want textures, man. I just want textures. I'm already wasting time. Deprecated. What? Oh, yeah. Well, the house bills, I didn't ask for FBXs. Okay, there's lots of stuff here. Just gonna import all that. It'll jazz our city up. Jack and Colin. No Micah Yates. I got you. I think we got most everybody. Close enough. And we might be done importing. All right. So here we go. So see, I imported a package, and now I've got fantasy environments, a whole folder of goodies here that is coming first in the list. And so if I wanted, again, my stuff to be up front, then I just put an underscore at the beginning of that folder name. Let me see what we got here. Materials is good. Textures is even better. Perfect. All right. See if we can put some grass on it that way. Nope, didn't think so. All right. Let me go ahead and create a new terrain, and it looks like ground green. There we go. Now we've got some green ground. We'll put something else there later. And while we're here, I'll raise it up. So I will give us some mountains around the side. I'll bet it's OBS that's slowing down all of this. I don't think Mason's tower is that high quality. You don't, yeah, that's true. You don't know. You don't know what the guy's been up to. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and save this scene because it's still just sample scenes. I'm gonna go ahead and save my scene as something better named. All right, and we'll get back to what we're actually supposed to be doing. So we've imported some stuff. I still need to create some barrels, and that'll make things more fun. Drag in Spidey Cube while I'm here. Extract textures, extract materials. And he's under our city. There he is. So Spidey's here. All right, and I'll grab some crates and barrels. There it is. Oh, good. Mud did his job right. All right. I'm going to grab them all at once. And even though they don't have initials on the end, import them anyway. So we'll import all these things. There we go. Now we can have fun. Go ahead and just delete this for now. Blocking the sun. All right. And then one by one, we'll go through here. So we've got closed ammo crate. Man, this gets tedious. Please put the textures in the textures folder. Yes, fix the normals. So it is easier as you're going through here. You may be tempted to do this. For whatever reason, it wants to extract right where the model's at. So your models folder can get just chock full of textures, materials, and models all together. I like to have some separation, so I'm making myself insane and selecting folders over and over. But just for speed, you could extract everything into the models folder and then just move them later to organize. Okay, so looks like that wants to be a normal map too. We'll extract the materials, same folder. And now we have a Coke can. With absolutely no nutritional information. This is the Coke of the early 20th century. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
You just gotta trust him on this one.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm concerned. So we got Spidey. And that might be a large can of Coke, but it still looks like it might be a beverage container. So maybe the ammo crate is small. Keep going. Dark cube. Fix now. Extract materials. Did I just move the textures folder? Dadgummit. Yeah. I twitched my mouse and the textures folder is now inside the scenes folder. Fantastic. What? But it's, what? Okay, I'm confused. All right. Pretend it didn't happen. All right, I'll do a few more of these and we'll start actually getting to work. Explosive barrel, extract textures. That's the worst. Oh, now it's just got more clicking. And now it's back. What? As advertised, yeah. Wonder what that barrel does. And I think we had one. I just wanted to see the texture on this guy. So we got this guy here. And I'll do the same thing. So.
What you do is that's a very huggable looking barrel.
Yeah. So if I've got an instance of the FBX here, it's still got that FBX icon. Looks like a box with a slot in the top. And if I select it here in my hierarchy, I've got all the stuff for the scene, where it's at, everything else. I need to select it from my models folder in the asset browser in order to do all the texture stuff. So actually grab that guy. Again, I'll extract textures, follow the bouncing textures icon, wherever the folder happens to end up. There we go. All right. So we got those textures. So we've got some things in here. And right now, there's still just the model, right? They don't do anything. If I started this game up and I have my player in here, I just walk right through everything because there's no collision on stuff. So let me do that. Let me prove that. I'm going to go ahead and I've already downloaded the DET controller. I think I did anyway. And so I'm going to go to my assets. So right here in the root, and this is a Unity package, which is what we'll be making on Thursday. I'm just going to drag this guy in, and it's going to look like when I imported the fantasy textures, right? So I've got all this. Do I want to drag all this stuff in? Yes. And so it's going to go in my prefabs folder inside a bunch of other stuff. So I've got scripts and everything for it. Let's go ahead and import. And since the prefabs folder was named the same, now it just lives in my existing prefabs folder. So here it is. There's my player. Go ahead and drag him up. One thing to note, and we're going to go through all this again in game engines later if you didn't cover it well enough in scripting. So when you launch the game, the physics engine tries to kick on right away, but it doesn't always get things right. And so it's super helpful to fork knife it and start your guy up in the air a little bit, right? He's jumping from the bus. Because if you start your guy on the ground, like pixel perfect on the ground, and the things like the engine starting up and the physics engine like starts the gravity, but not all the collision, then your guy falls below the ground a little bit before everything kicks on, and you just clip through the ground and you fall forever. So just based on startup stuff, until you learn to script things to make things work better, it's super helpful just to start your guy in the air just a little bit. It doesn't have to be the whole Fortnite or whatever fall, but up a little bit. All right, so I'm going to start this up. We've got my generic controller. I've even got the shadow on, so I'm just a capsule. I'm just this guy here. I've got some collision on me. I've got some collision on my feet, and there's my eyes is the camera right here. So I'm going to take the main camera and turn it off. We don't need this guy. We could even delete it. And let me just play the game. Go, and I can just walk up to and through all of the things. Also, the frame rate is the suck because of OBS. Okay, so that's what happens by default. Things just super clippable. All right, I'll turn this off before I get frame rate sickness. All right, and look at the generic DET player controller here. See, the icon's different. That's a prefab. So the solid blue box is a prefab. Have we covered this in game scripting? Yes, no, maybe? Yes. Okay. All right. I need to do some cool stuff with these guys and then make prefabs of them. So I'll start with Spidey Cube. He's just sitting here. He's just floating. He's doing business. He's all right. I'm going to go ahead and add the most primitive collider that's going to go around him. Box collider is probably going to be the best thing. It should fit to him nicely as long as that cube is in the root of that. And then I'm also going to add rigid body to him because we want to push Spider-Man down. Why? I don't know. I don't know. We're weird people. We like to hurt people. So now Spidey Cube with his collider and his rigid body, I'm going to drag him down into my prefabs folder. And now he exists here. I can drag out a bunch of different Spidey cubes. And they all have colliders and rigid bodies on them. So I'm going to do that with all this stuff here. So the Coke can, I'll add let's do a box collider on this guy too. We don't care if it bounces weird. Do box collider and rigid body and all these things. And then drag the Coke can down. Closed ammo box, box collider, rigid body. Okay. Now, what have I got left? The explosive barrel, dark crate, and Yoshi crate. Check out what I can do because I've just decided that I'm repeating stuff and man, I hate repeating stuff. How can I be lazy about this? So if I select all three of these and then add rigid body and add box collider. And I've now added it to all three of these objects at the same time, individually. So now explosive barrel can come down here. He's all set up, dark crate, Yoshi crate. You can see I changed all my icons up here. They're now more cubey without the slots in front of them. And freight notwithstanding, it should be at least a little more interesting to walk into and through these things. Okay, so I knocked the can over. I knocked one Spidey over. So it'd look and feel a lot better without OBS recording straight to YouTube in the background. But as you can see, we are able to kick some things over as we walk over them. I knocked over Spider-Man. I know. Seems like it's just calling for an I Punched Keanu Reeves type of song, but haven't written that yet. All right, so that's what we would do with our small things, okay? Drag them in, all the crates and barrels, put colliders of some sort on them. Box colliders work for almost everything. Rigid body, so that in your scene, we can stack them up and watch them fall down. We can kick them over. Now that I've got them as a prefab, I can just start dragging Yoshi crates out here like mad. Make a big tower out of them. Drag one more on top. Here we go. Do the same thing we do in Blender. We can go to a purely orthographic view and look at things, which is nice. And they mostly line up. All right, let's see what this looks like. And see, they were kind of like, yeah, they were sort of in the air. They were close to each other. They all kind of settled down nicely. And then I was able to knock them all over. Man, I hate the frame rate. But anyway, so that's what we'll do with our smaller objects. We drag in some other stuff. So if we wanted to make a city block and get all that going, so I could drag in Mason's block, which for whatever reason to the ground by default. Click on the cube in the middle. Now, luckily, he didn't join everything, so we've got good news and bad news, right? So we've got access to all the individual bits, so we can add colliders to all of them individually, which is nice. Just, it's a lot to deal with. If he had somehow joined all these together and it was one big object, I couldn't just wrap a box collider around this, because then I'm basically shut out. I can't get into the city block. But I'm just going to go ahead and grab everything he's got here. We'll try it this way. I'm going to grab all of the sub meshes inside of his FBX, and I will give each of them their own box collider. And now I'm going to go jump around in there and see what I can do. Oh, it looks like he's got some crates in here. There's some barrels. We could add rigid bodies to those. So we will. I just want to go ahead and grab that and shift click. Hello. What's it called? Are they called barrels properly? Metal barrel. All right. Grab all 4 of the metal barrels. They've already got the box colliders. Again, I'll add rigid body. The barrels I can kick over, and everything else in here is super static. And then I can do the same thing I did with the crates and barrels. I can just grab his whole block, drag it in my prefabs folder, and now if I wanted the whole city to be nothing but this ridiculous city block, then we're good to go. I can drag it out. It's got all the same stuff already applied. Let me see. I started right in the middle of it. Your barrels, I think, are gone. Maybe because they started inside the city block. So the other thing that's cool about Unity and their physics engine is we can oops it rather nicely. Oh yeah, there they are. There's the barrels underneath the block. So the terrain caught them. In. So the terrain caught them, but that didn't. So let's see what happened there. Still using Blender keys. Oh, okay. Well, you're. Yeah, it literally started inside. So when I just blindly put box collider on everything, and it thinks that your city block itself extends up this high. So the barrels were caught inside of that on startup and just went through it. Adjust the box collider here. Pull it down. Now on my overrides, I'll go ahead and say apply everything that I've just done, and now my prefab is caught up with that. Let's see. Now the barrels didn't clip. I should be able to walk over and knock one over. At least push it around a little bit. I swear it's OBS. This frame rate is atrocious. Anyway, so that's what we need to do. Drag in all your crates and barrels, drag in your city blocks, drag in your spaceships. What else do we say? The Bible assets, and just kind of create a scene. And then using this simple player controller, walk around in it, knock some stuff over. Obviously, don't kick the building down because it's bigger than you and you're not the Hulk. If you want to make a Hulk game, do that on your own time. So that's pretty much the assignment this week. I just want you to get familiar with reusing your own FBXs. Make sure you can extract all the materials and the textures. Let's go ahead and look at the rubric for this. So you're going to create a Unity project. You're going to get a scenes folder for free. The prefabs folder will create itself when you drag in the first person controller. You need to at least make the models and textures controller, so we need all those. We need something for the ground, cube, plane, or terrain. Import all of these guys. Make sure you've extracted all materials and textures. Make a cool scene. Make a cool layout with it. We want colliders on the big models so that we don't walk through them like buildings. Colliders and rigid bodies on smaller models so we can kick them around. Bring in the controller and the levels playable. So this is just a good opportunity to use models you've already made, play around in Unity, make a scene. If you're doing Unity for your final, this is great practice. And then we will look, I'm gonna just keep filling this horrible, horrible scene up with everything that I can find that you've created. We'll make a giant city of nonsense, and if the frame rate doesn't drop too badly with OBS off, we'll get to explore it. And then Thursday, we'll look at creating an asset pack, kind of like how I drug in the first-person controller. You're going to create a file like that with all your crates and barrels in it as prefabs, and then we'll be able to use those for future semesters. So that's what we're doing. Don't have to make any new models this week. I'd considered forcing you to make new models this week, like at least something to put in the hand of your first-person controller, but it'll be all right. Just getting the stuff in here and working should be a challenge enough. Questions? Wake the heck up. Even Jack's asleep. Come on. All right. Let me turn off this stream and see if the frame rate's better.